All right, guys, today we're going to look at developing budgets. So basically, it provides information, facts and figures in quantitative, so numbers, um, about requirements for achieving a particular purpose. So every business sets budgets. It might be like a sales budget, which is targets on how many your salespeople are expected to make, or it could be a operational budget, which is the amount of money that you get to spend to actually build the products that you're making. So every basic department of a business has a budget. So it's basically outlining the cash required that you need to be able to spend over that particular period to achieve what you need to do. Any cost of any capital expenditure and expenses, allowing that you're using to actually earn the money. This could be the machines that you're producing, the products that you're making, and the estimated. So these are estimated figures of the raw materials that you're going to need. So if you need to make 1,000 cars, you can work out exactly how many raw materials you're going to need to purchase in advance to build those 1,000 cars, and the number of hours of labour required to allow you to produce that. So as these numbers change, so if sales are predicting they're going to sell more cars and you need to make 2,000 cars, you need to then rebudget for your inventory and your labour hours. So key figures affecting budget, obviously past performance. Performance tends to not vary wildly over large amounts of time. So if you're trending upwards, you can reasonably predict that you'll continue to trend upwards and your budgets will increase. Potential market share. So the companies do a lot of market research to figure out how much of the market they actually have captured and what's the likelihood of them being able to capture more. Any expansion or discontinuation of projects. So basically, if you're going to open up a new factory, that's going to affect your capital expenditure budget dramatically. If you're closing down production and selling off the equipment and plant, that's going to dramatically affect your budgets as well. Any new products or the quality of products or the price of products. The current ability to actually manufacture. And then external things. So you're trying to predict what's going to happen government-wise, or trying to figure out how COVID's going to impact your business and how that's going to change your business budgets. So, for example, restaurants are doing a lot more takeaway stuff, so they need less wait staff, but they need more kitchen staff. So this is giving you some basic types of the budgets. The operating budget is your effectively day-to-day, month-by-month budget. How you're actually going to actually produce the raw materials. Projects for when things are one-off. As I say, if you're opening up a new factory, the whole project's around building that and getting it up to speed, getting everyone trained and getting producing, has their own budgets. And financial budgets, which are the ones we're going to spend most of our time looking at over the next few weeks, about how we work out how the business is tracking. So some detailed operating budgets. The main activities of the business, your production, your raw materials, your labour hours. As I said, project is your capital expenditure for developing either new plant or new products. R&D stands for research and development, so basically all the research you're doing to develop a new product. And the ROI stands for return on investment. So when are you expecting to get a return on the amount of money you're investing in it, and how much you're expecting to get. And basically your financial budgets are budgeted income and expenses. So you're taking your predicted sales pipeline, putting that in your budget and figuring out how much you're going to spend doing that. Here's an example of a budgeted income statement for 3 months. You'll see at the top figure, sales is always put in first. So whatever it is they're predicting to sell, less the cost of the goods that they made to sell, so either made or purchased, which leaves you your gross profit. Any administrative expense that leaves you then your net profit is left after that. These are figures and formula that you're going to need to get used to. We go through them in much more detail later in the finance unit, but you need to know that sales equals, or gross profit equals sales minus the cost of the goods sold, and then net profit is your gross profit minus any other expenses. So things like your salaries for salespeople, your phones, cars, all those other expenses, the buildings. So you can see basically the budgeted sales per month, and the next low, and then the expenses with it. So fixed costs of advertising, they're spending the same amount every month on advertising, the same amount on rent every month. But the variable cost of the salaries, how many people you've got there to do it, and the delivery of the products. This is a very basic budgeted statement. Large corporates have these huge statements, going into much more detail.